Hey CCFC, this is Stu, Coach Stu, and I'm making these first attempts at some videos that might help us understand a little bit more about how to obtain our shape when we win the ball. So as you can see here, we've got uh, three players in the back, our two players in the middle, our two outside wings, and our forward right here, our center striker, and then we've got our keeper. Don't worry at all about the numbers. These are kind of traditional soccer numbers. The keeper is always traditionally number one and so on. So don't worry about the numbers right now. Just worry about the positions that you play. So center defender, we have guys like Dominic and Cole and Rory and a few others to play. We've got Austin that plays out here on the outside. We've got guys like Jackson that play over here on this side. Judson and Kemper did a great job playing together in this, and several other guys. Then we got a lot of guys who can play these outside positions here. Gabriel and Kemper and others can play up here as well. So if you'll notice, the orange is the ball, and this is how we get our shape when our keeper gets the ball. Let me see if I can just advance this a little bit and just show you how this works. Okay, so when the goalie gets the ball, you'll notice that he comes out to the edge of the box on either side, this side or this side, and there's always the near side defender who comes nice and wide and a little bit short. Okay, we get a little bit of space from our central defender, who could be maybe even just a little bit closer in this way, but then we get our center striker all the way up the field, pretty much as far up as he's allowed to go. Kemper can punt the ball to half line. Liam, who played in the goal here, he can punt the ball pretty good as well. But you see how we get some triangles here a lot over the place, maybe even diamonds in certain parts of the field, but you'll see how we start to spread out as we get the ball up the field. So let's just say our keeper punts the ball up, and he punts it up to one of our outside wing players here. And this is what our shape should start to look like a little bit. We've got our outside fullback on his side who starts to come up. He doesn't come around him yet, but he just starts to come up and support him. We've always got support back from our central defender. We have our two center mids, one of whom is a little farther forward, the other is a little farther back, and then we always have our center striker is way up the field. So this way we can get the ball into him, we can get the ball to this guy, to this guy. We could even split passes and get the ball into this space for our attacking center mid to run into. And if nothing else, if we're always really overwhelmed because there's defenders around us, and I haven't put defenders in here, we can always go back to this guy. So let's just see what would happen if this outside wing gets the ball and he tries to play the ball into our number 10, our striker. It kind of looks a little bit like this. Now notice how everybody starts to shift whenever we get the ball in. We've got the outside player out here who, instead of just going straight up the field, he starts to slide in so that maybe our center striker could pass the ball through two defenders into a space. And then when this guy, number 7, when he gave the ball up, he didn't just stand there and watch. He gave the ball to number 10, and then he gets up the field and really tries to advance. We've still got number 8, our attacking center mid, is in a good supporting position so that maybe if number 10 here gets crowded, Gabriel or Kemper, whoever this might be, if they get really crowded, they can come back. This guy, our attacking center mid, turns and he can play the ball to an outside back who's just got loads of space out here. But notice, our number 4, our center defender, is always relatively central to the field and quite a bit behind the play. Not too much. In real life, this is only maybe 15 to 20 yards. But just notice how he always stays in support of everything else. So let's just watch what happens if number 10, our striker, can turn and play the ball to a player who's trying to get forward. Plays the ball through maybe to number 9, and then people start to advance and get in positions. As this happens, number 9, number 10, number 7, number 8, and even number 6 start to get into attacking positions. And numbers 3 and 2 are fullbacks. This could be Rory, this could be Jackson, this could be Dominic, this could be Liam. The same players could play over here. Even both of our Lukes, Malachi's played here as well. We've got a lot of players who can play here. Their job is to keep their shape nice and wide. And then as the ball gets forward, we start to build this attack. Now just notice, look at number 3. He's a fullback. He's an Austin, he's a Jackson. He starts to advance up the field. Notice now that we've got 5 players in the attack, all kind of pretty good, pretty well spread out. Our defensive center midfielder is always a little bit behind. He doesn't get too carried away getting forward. And then we've always got 1, and then perhaps even 2. Number 4 here and number 2 are always behind the ball, making sure we got at least 2 guys who are back. But look at all these numbers who are forward. And as we start to go forward and converge, we make a few little passes, and the ball's in the back of the net. So this is kind of what it looks like when it's in motion. Notice how much movement there is amongst all of the players. As we start to make these passes, we get forward, players get into attacking position. So again, we make ourselves nice and big when the keeper gets the ball. Look how nice and spread out we are. We get the ball up, and we're trying to distribute. We get the ball up here, up into these outside spaces where there's space, and then we start to create movement. Get the ball into our striker, move up the sideline. Now let me just say, this pass could just as easily come this way to our number 7 as easily as it could up the center of the field. In fact, more than likely, another team is going to have 3, 4, maybe even 5 players defending the center of the field, and the spaces are going to be out here in these spaces, or on the other side of the field it can be in these spaces. So this ball played from our striker could just as easily come this way, and number 7, our right wing player, can get the ball into space. He dribbles it right towards that keeper, makes the keeper make a decision, and then lays the ball off right here in the center of the field for one of our players to tap in. So this could just as easily go the other way. But look how much movement we get as we start to get the ball forward. Everybody spreads up. We get the ball up the field. 1 pass. Here's another pass. Then we create movement. And then 2 or 3 passes, the ball's already up in the other team's part of the field. So that's a pretty good way that we transition from one end of the field to the other.